Another fine show.
Ah, a show for the ages.
Show for all ages. It was an all
For
ages
any
show.
and all ages. For friends. For
Uh,
life.
good show. Good
Drinks for
show.
all my friends.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Because you had the audio issue 3 times during the episode.
Oh, lovely. That's just what I want to hear when I come off a show on a high.
It's not what you want. It's not what you deserve to hear.
No,
It's
I
what
know.
you needed to hear.
I'll get those time codes from you in a moment. Let's get the headlines first, though.
Headlines. We start off at the top with the Tom Merritt news experience. Hulk smash.
Which will not be the headline that we use.
Hulk smash. Sue. More robot pain. More robot gain. Reddit says Imager out of here. Apple's acquisition binge. Amazon, Windows Phone, and BlackBerry don't have pals anymore. Hulu Flicks, iFlix.
Amazon and Windows Phone and BlackBerry can't even pay for pals anymore.
No. Government punches hole in floppy to use other side for free. When will floppies truly flop? At least the U.S. nuclear team doesn't have to worry about Windows 10.
You seem uncertain about all of these.
I'm trying to find something that kind of succinctly gets the main, the Apple. I'm trying to find something.
Apple buy BAM, please.
Nothing really grabs me by the lapels.
Well, you're wearing a T-shirt.
It's partly the reason why.
Government punches a hole in floppy to use other side for free.
I just said that.
I know. I know you did.
Yeah. It just
making me giggle.
I don't think you could do that with 7-inch or 8-inch floppies. I don't remember.
Who flicks? iFlix?
Now we know R2D2 felt pain.
I'm liking Shane's today.
You're liking Shane's?
Yeah. Justin, any of these catching your ear?
Nope.
Who flicks? iFlix.
All right, we're gonna have to make a call.
If it works, don't nuke it. That's pretty snappy, but that's just one of the news items.
I think that's fine though. Does the world really need another "Will Apple buy"
No.
title?
Okay.
Right?
Now let's do the if it works.
Because this is such. We. Oh man, I forgot to get into my favorite conversation that nobody is interested in except me, which is who leaked this information, which is almost certainly Time Warner. In the case.
You mean about the? I thought you were still talking about the Pentagon stuff. Yeah,
It's like Time Warner. It's like, whoa, they got an axe to grind somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all right. So here's my favorite thing in the world is whenever you have any of these knowledge of the situation, somebody talk to somebody where it's very hard that anybody would know about what happened in a room with two different people. And this goes news stories, nonfiction books, all of it, right? Ask yourself who in that room, assuming that the writer is not making it up, right?
Right.
Who in that room or people close to that room talk to the reporter? And in the case of the Netflix thing or the Time Warner thing, almost certainly Time Warner, right?
Well, Apple didn't. Yeah. It's possible that somebody who wasn't in the room at Apple heard about it and then told someone about it at a bar, right? But I think you're right. I think it's much more likely that somebody at Time Warner went to Financial Times.
Because they want to seem bigger. That makes them seem bigger.
And
Apple doesn't
if
need
they're
to
still
have
interested in an acquisition, like maybe they couldn't come to an agreement with Apple about it, but they're like, hey, but we still want somebody to buy us. This helps drive up the price.
Yeah, or maybe it's ongoing. Maybe it's more ongoing than they let on to the reporter. Apple benefits none from it being out there that Eddie Q talked to somebody specifically, because again, that's how it's reported.
Yeah, it's got both names, Eddie Q and Olaf Olafsson. They were in the room with their, I'm sure other people were in the meeting. It wasn't just those two, but. I'm not saying Olaf Olafsson leaked it. Let's be clear.
But he's the prime suspect. Yeah, what so many shenanigans.
Oh,
So many
shenanigans.
Has that ever been the title of an episode? Shenanigans?
Shenanigans. I got a call from Jenny Josephson yesterday.
Oh, what did she say? Did Roger ruin the show?
It was a 4-second conversation, and actually it was preceded by a text that said, "Now is your chance to add to the programming of Marketplace." And I said, "Sure, give me a call." And she just said, "Terry Bollea or Terry Bollea?" Terry Bollea. And she said, "Thank you."
That's amazing. I love that story. Because she knew. She's like, I know who will know this.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Sources say it's Bollea.
Yeah. No, it's Bollea.
Belay that order.
So was one of your time codes 2430, Roger?
24:30. I just did it based on the clock, unfortunately.
Oh.
They were all in the news stories. An hour and 41 minutes.
It literally just
at
happened.
at 1:41, right before the Lenovo news story.
141.
Oh, here we go. Right now. Right now.
Okay, that doesn't help me either because I'm not recording.
So right before the Lenovo story, you're talking to Justin. It did it then.
Lenovo story?
So it's it started at 1:41, like the actual time.
Okay, so maybe 41 minutes in. Or wait, no, 11 minutes in. Sorry.
And then
right,
6 minutes. 6 minutes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's not there in the recording.
That's good. Check 6 minutes after while you guys are talking about.
I just heard it from you.
Weird.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You just heard?
Now, I heard something like vroom, vroom,
Yeah.
vroom. So it's in the Hangout.
Yeah. Hangout.
It definitely went out to people because people were commenting on it in the chat room.
No, I get it. It's probably going to be in the video then, but it won't be in the audio.
Because you recorded the audio locally.
Well, because my audio is recorded separately. Yeah, exactly. If it happens to you guys, it would get in the audio because I'm just getting your audio from the Hangout. Huh. All right. So I wonder if it's just a Hangout thing that will go away because they'll fix it, or if it's because I'm using studio mode.
I've never heard this type of distortion before, though.
Well, yeah. No, I know. That doesn't mean they didn't change something in their implementation on the back end.
No, I'm not saying they did, but I'm just saying it's not like traditionally when people went artifacty on the audio.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying. So it's probably not internet related. It's probably not connection related. It's probably codec related is what I'm guessing then. We're tracking it down. We're on the case. The gumshoes.
Yeah. It's going to end at Google. What's going to happen? We're just like, hey, can you fix this someday?
Well, the thing about these sorts of things is they don't stay broken. If it's within there, they generally, like, the next time they do an update, it goes away. Not saying that's good policy, but I'm just saying, like, it probably won't stay there forever if it happens. Maybe they'll fix it by Tuesday.
Maybe.
They could probably just play another round of foosball instead, though.
What, do you think everything in Silicon Valley is like that show, Silicon Valley? Because it is.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have that in all that useless cacophony of coverage, I think this was from the former one of the former runners of Gawker that was commenting on it, is that there is this very weird sense of self-seriousness in this area, in the Bay Area, when it comes to tech. That like tech has a very weird way of looking at any kind of self-coverage. And she pointed out that even Silicon Valley, like, people don't, that there is, people don't find, in Silicon Valley, I've known more people that don't find it funny because they don't find those tropes that they are making fun of funny.
Right.
Like, I've read people, like, it just, and anecdotally, totally anecdotally, like, in my Twitter feed, more people that work in tech are like, oh, the show's not funny. I don't get it. Why is that show funny?
Yeah, well, it's the thing about making fun from the outside but being accurate versus making fun from the inside and being accurate, right? And then there's making from the outside and not being accurate. So making fun from the outside and not being accurate is when you're like, you don't actually understand, so you're just making fun of it because you don't understand it. That is not what Silicon Valley is doing. Making fun from the outside but getting it right is when you're like, this is really funny, and everyone on the inside goes, no, that's normal. And you're like, no, it's normal because you're in it, but if trust me, it's really funny. And then there's making fun from the inside, which is like, these are the jokes that are really funny because we're all involved in the system, and those aren't funny to the outside.
Yeah. I think it's pretty funny. I think the show's funny. I
think it's funny too.
I think it's really funny. I
also get that it's a cartoon, right? Like, it's not a documentary.
I mean, in the same way that Office Space is a cartoon, right?
Right. Or even The Office.
Yeah. I mean, just even with Mike Judge's properties, it's the reason why.
Oh, yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
Hashtag hot take alert. I get so annoyed whenever people are like, oh, look, idiocracy. It's like, oh, the world's becoming idiocracy, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, dude, I thought Idiocracy was a really funny movie. But like, oh, God, it drives me up a wall when everything is like, well, look at this. Now we're becoming dumber and stupider like in the movie. Like, especially because that movie is very weirdly nihilistic. Like, it
draws it out to the most, like, absolute conclusion. If everything was
the reasoning why the world gets stupid is because young yuppies aren't making as many kids as, like, poor rednecks. Like, that's like the point of the movie, as it explains why the world is the way it is.
Yeah, it's very classist.
And it's like, okay, all right, cool beans.
Well, that is one of the, I would have to say, I don't want to say the valley, but the industry's major blind spot is its inability to kind of, see. If you've been in the business so long, where, hey, the way you think is extraordinary and exceptional, and you have, a particularly good knack for blah blah blah. I think it's really hard to kind of start stepping outside of yourself and looking at it from a perspective you haven't necessarily lived before. So, a lot of places, a lot of industries or groups are like that, though.
Yeah. Oh no.
Political groups are the most obvious ones, right? It doesn't matter what kind of political philosophy you subscribe to. You will find people within that grouping who are totally like, I don't get it. Why is that funny? Why is that even a thing?
Well, except for political groups are there to fight, right? That's why they formed, is because they want to proselytize people that can be proselytized, and they want to attack those that can't. Like, that's the point of a political group, because you want to win elections and gain influence and power. Tech's a different story, because, like, they have all those instincts, right? You're dead right, that they have all those, like, hey, protect the flag kind of instincts, but they're also trying to make Twitter, and they're also trying to make a product, and they're also trying to deal with users. And I don't know.
It's a little bit like if you've ever I have the dimmest association of what an actual medical professional feels when they watch like Grey's Anatomy or something.
Sure.
Because I was taking a first responder course in emergency medicine, and suddenly all these things started to pop up. Some of which I was like, oh, that's actually right. Like that's what they tell you to do. And then there'd be the things where like, well, no, that's not really what you would do. And of course, it annoyed the crap out of Eileen if I brought any of that up, because she's like, I'm just trying to watch the show, right?
Yeah.
And so Silicon Valley is like, if a doctor watched Scrubs and sat there and was like, well, that's not really the way hospitals work.
I mean, I'll tell you what, though. I feel like they put way more effort into being realistic than they necessarily need to be.
Right.
Like,
I think you're right.
Here's what I have found exciting about the show, is especially as they moved into their big snazzy office and everything. Like that's the world in which I inhabited for 4+ years with the Go game, was walking into these things, and I live in fear that one day we're going to get the ridiculous team building side plot at Huli or whatever, which I'll be very excited to have happen.
I can't wait till you or Roudsville show up in Silicon Valley as a character.
Oh, if there is an orange jumpsuited person running a hilarious scavenger hunt, quote unquote, in the show, it will be the happiest day of my life. Which is not to say that the Go game is anything but top quality entertainment. It absolutely is.
No, of course. But that's the same
But
thing,
that's
right?
the
Like they can make fun of that without it trying to imply that the Go game is a bad thing.
Well, and it's like, listen, there's a salty attitude that is pervasive amongst a lot of the companies, right? And for good reason, by the way. Like there are a lot of things that are kind of silly about those companies, and there's a lot of truth to what you saw in this week's episode, which is like this natural rivalry between the salespeople and the engineering people. Like
that's not just true in Silicon Valley either. Like that's true in that one transcends boundaries, I think.
Sure. The only difference is in Silicon Valley, because the engineers rest on a higher plane because of how well they're paid and how easily they can go to other companies. Salespeople by and large are, that's still a relationship business no matter where you go. You get in because you knew somebody and that's it, and you keep selling the widget, and if you sell the most widgets, you get, a set of steak knives or something. With the engineers, it's like, listen, it's what makes everything go.
I can't wait for the start game, as BioCow has dubbed it.
Oh, the start game, I'll tell you what, it's I fell in love with Silicon Valley in the pilot when the main character, when Richard is deciding to start Pied Piper and says, let's make this company different. Let's not have voluntary yoga retreats that are actually mandatory. And I was very, very excited because I was at that moment heading to a mandatory yoga retreat.
Okay. Looks like I did a little wrong thing there in the post there. I think I've fixed it now. Thanks T2T2 for the heads up. So there, and the glitches, and he confirms the glitches are in the YouTube, which makes sense. So it's in the Hangout.
It's in the Hangout. It's in the Hangout. The call is coming from inside the Hangout.
And with that, we leave you. Goodbye, dear friends and gentle hearts. I'll see you on Tuesday. Justin will see you tomorrow. So will Roger.
Yeah, man. I'll see you.